Hi guys, it's me again, Charles Norber from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS.com, and it is the one place that you should go if you're a high school athlete and you're trying to find the best athletic scholarship opportunities. You want to come to us, and it's free as of May of 2021. So at the end of this video, I will give you the code so that you can use our software for free. But what I wanted to do today was talk about the NCAA rules. Now, I got an opportunity this week because we work with a lot of high schools to sit in on the NCAA meeting for athletic directors and administrators for high schools about the changes that are coming for this year. Now, I'm not going to go over everything, but I was able to go through it, and I pulled out a couple of pieces I think you should be aware of, and then I want to do some cautionary things afterwards. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to let you go ahead and listen to, because I want to show you the actual screenshots from the Zoom meeting that they had, and then we're going to come back and discuss a little bit of it. And then I'm going to give you the code, obviously, that you're going to use. But I also want to talk to you a little bit after this about what we're trying to do with AthleticSOS and where I want you to be careful. Okay, so let's go in. Let's take a look at what I put together for you guys, and then we'll talk on the other side. In this informational video, we will discuss some of the NCAA eligibility rules that have changed or are altered for the 2020 through 2023 school year. Before we get started, let's remember you must be certified if you want to play at the NCAA Division I or Division II levels. So the NCAA must certify your amateur status and that you've met all of the academic guidelines that are required to participate at that level. Let's remember, as a member of AthleticSOS, you can always go to resources and we will give you a link to the eligibility centers. You do not need to wait for your counselor to set this up for you. You can do it at home. You will need your counselor to fill in your transcript information, but you do not need them to get started. Now, let's go back and go through some of the issues that have come up in the 2020-2023 year that you're going to have to be aware of. So these are the addresses for the Eligibility Center if you are not using AthleticSOS and you got a hold of this video. This is information so that you can also go in and register yourself without needing to use AthleticSOS. One of the big questions we get constantly inside of AthleticSOS is, what are the subject areas that are required for you can be certified to play at the NCAA Division I or Division II levels? So here are the subject areas for NCAA Division I. And the important one we want you to take a look at is the 4 years of English. So be aware that that is required. Now, if you have satisfied all of the academic requirements, you will be able to get athletic aid, which is your scholarship money. You'll be able to practice and you will be able to compete. If you do not have all of these satisfied, you will not be able to participate. But there is another caveat, and we want to show you that now. This is called the 10-7 rule, and it's really important if you want to participate at the Division I level. So we know the courses that are required. Now, you need to do those courses within the 8 semesters. And so if you're a freshman, obviously you have 8 semesters to graduate. Here's what's important with the 10-7. You have to do 10 of the 16 required courses before your senior year. This is hugely important, and we see so many athletes get stuck here. And when we say qualify, that means not only did you take the courses, but you hit the 2.5 GPA requirement and you took them before you entered your senior year. So you have to take the courses, you have to get the correct grade in those courses, and you have to do it on a timely manner. And this is huge. The reason for this, I can speculate, but we don't know. I will say that they are very, very strict with this until this year, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now let's talk about the Division II subject areas for qualification. Again, you notice right here under English, there's only 3 years required, and that is a difference. But again, you must meet the academic requirements. Don't go by what I am saying in this video, because they change these rules year after year after year. Go in and go to the eligibility centers for yourself to make sure that these are still accurate. We'll try to redo this video on an annual basis, but these are important right now because of the pandemic situation. They've made a lot of changes. So if you satisfy these requirements, you can get the athletic aid, which is your scholarship, you can practice, and you can compete. So this is all we want to know right now in these issues. This is for you to be a qualifier so that you can play, and it is a 2.2 GPA. You also see it's the same 16 core courses are going to be required. However, you don't need the 4 years of English, and you don't have the 10-7 rule, which means you can complete the 16 courses just as long as you do it before you graduate. So you have all the way until the end of your senior year to make up for anything that you need to make up. These are just some basic qualifying information. This is general information. This isn't the information that changed for the 2020 through 2023 years. We're going to get into those cautionary tales right now. This is brand new. So for NCAA Division II, there is something now called a partial qualifier. This did not exist before 2020. So with a partial qualifier, all you have to, so you didn't meet any of the D1 qualifying standards. You can still, so let's say you have 12 of the core courses completed and you got a 1.2 GPA and you just barely made it through, but you can still play your sport and you can still get offers at the Division II level. This does not work for the Division I level, so keep that in mind. But the Division II level, all you have to do is graduate and you can get your athletic scholarship money and you can practice, but you cannot compete. However, this is a complete change from previous years. You would not be able to even get the scholarship money, and you definitely would not be able to practice in prior years. So this is sort of a, I don't know, get out of jail free type card in this situation. So understand, if you did not meet the requirements for Division I academically, you did not meet the requirements for Division II academically, or you can still participate and get an athletic scholarship at the Division II level, but you cannot compete until the following year. That first year you cannot compete, but you can still get the scholarship money, you can still go to practice, and then you can get yourself in a position to be able to participate. Okay, really important. Now this is a bigger one too. So distance and e-learning. Prior years they had to approve any kind of online or distance learning program you did to try to catch up. Obviously athletes sometimes get behind. They didn't get the right grade in their 9th grade or 10th grade English class. Maybe they got a 2.2, but you need a 2.5 to play at the Division I level. You didn't do that, so how do you make up for it? And at the Division I level, you've got to get all this stuff done before your senior year, right? You have to get 10 of those courses done before your senior year. What do you do about it? Well, in the past, kids would go in and they would try to take these online classes to kind of skirt around the rule at the last minute. But they solved that with the 10-7 rule because they would try to do it in their senior year. But because of e-learning and because of what we had to go through because of the pandemic, they've made these different rules. So these rules now, you do not need the NCAA to review your e-learning program that you're going to have. Now, the best way to do this is to go through your school. Your school has to have some sort of online training, or they can recommend a third party that has online training. But the big difference here is now you don't have to wait and get it approved first by the NCAA Eligibility Center. You can take those courses. Just make sure that you get someone like a school counselor or some certified. You know, if you're going to go take an e-learning class, ask the people that you're going to take it from, are you certified by the NCAA? Will they accept this? Because you don't want to make the mistake and go through all of this and then find out later on that the NCAA pulled the rug out from under you. So we recommend you go through your school. Okay, but this is a big deal because now you can make up in the summer or even do the regular school year if you need to go make up your 9th grade English or your 10th grade English courses. You can make those up even at the Division I level. You can go back and make those up. You just have to do it before your senior year. And if you are going for Division II, you can make them up during your senior year. And what's really new for this year, you can now make it up in the summertime before you go to college, which means that you have a few extra months to go back, do some online courses and make up for whatever you're lacking. Now, for Division I, the important thing to remember is you cannot, if you didn't get the 10-7 done, it doesn't matter what you do, right? You cannot catch up on the 10-7. You'd have to do that before your senior year. But to qualify, if you did the 10-7 correctly and then you struggled in your senior year for some reason, you can still go back and make up whatever courses you need to make up in your senior year during the summer all the way up until the time you start at the college. So you have that whole summer period to go. If you're at the Division II level, you can go all the way from any mistake that you made in your 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, anything that you're missing, you have until the end of the summer before you start at the college. You can make up, and you will be certified by the NCAA. I hope that makes sense. Again, you want to go to the NCAA website to make absolutely sure that you are covered on your plan. I would say just talk to your counselor at your school, and they should be able to help you. Now, this is where a little bit of confusion comes in. A lot of kids will go to the NCAA to sign themselves up, and they will say for these classes that they will click the homeschool button. It doesn't mean because you're doing e-learning, and because of the COVID situation, e-learning does not mean homeschool. Those are two completely different things. So if you're going to your regular school, then you are not being homeschooled. Homeschool is a whole different arena. It has a whole different set of rules. So don't get caught in that. If you go to a regular high school and you run into some issues or situations where you need to do some makeup and you need to do some e-learning, or if you just want to do e-learning and get ahead of the game, because there is early certification too. I didn't go through that here, but if you wanted to graduate early, you could take some extra courses during the summer or during your regular school year if you're at that level, and you can graduate early and start college early if you want to. But we're just talking right now about the normal general path to playing at the collegiate level. All right, you guys, remember, for AthleticSOS, we always talk about performance and positioning, and we can't fix the performance part. We give you some ideas about what you can and can't do, but we don't try to fix that. Positioning is where we want to make sure that we're very, very careful. And so in this case, if you know what the rules are, you can make sure that you put yourself in position to satisfy them. Now, one of the slides that we did not put in here was the new SAT and ACT requirements. They are not required for 2020 through 2023 graduation years. If you're graduating in any of those years, 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023, you do not have to take the SAT and ACT. Now, the reason I didn't put the slide in here is because I wanted to give this cautionary information for you. This does not mean that the college doesn't require the SAT and ACTs. So you want to be smart. We want everyone that's using AthleticSOS to be smart. Go ahead and take the SAT and ACT test anyway. So if you don't get a great score, you didn't lose anything. But if you do get a great score, it can make the difference in the number, the opportunities and options you have, because a lot of colleges are going to require it just to get into the college, even though the NCAA is not requiring it to play at that level. So hopefully this all makes sense to you. We don't follow the crowd. We position ourselves so that when the college, the coach, the college, they're thinking about bringing you on, you're in a better position than everyone else. You know all of your options, you know all of your opportunities, and you can meet the requirements for those opportunities. You will get in. If there's two players and everything else is the same, and you've taken SAT and ACT, you did the 10-7 for the Division I. You are a qualifier, not a partial qualifier for Division II, because that's what a lot of people are going to go for. That's not what we're going for. We want you to be really in place, but we do want you to know what the rules are so that you're never stuck. You're never out of the game. You always have an opportunity. Okay? Thank you guys very much, and we will try to keep this updated, but always go to the NCAA Eligibility Centers. You can get a link to it under resources on AthleticSOS. Best of luck to you always, and let's stay in the game. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, guys. I hope that was really helpful for you guys. And there was a lot of information in there, and you can go back and watch it over and over again if you want to. But one of the things I want to get clear for us with AthleticSOS. Now, there were a lot of loopholes in there, some shortcuts, and some things you could think about to get around. And mainly I showed you guys that so you're aware of what's going on. And if you were in some sort of trouble and you didn't get everything quite right, that you had a way to get around. You know, I always tell you guys, you're never stuck. There's always a way to get to where you're trying to get to. But what I don't want you to do, and this is extremely important to me, and the reason I wanted to do this video, don't start going through life looking for loopholes and shortcuts. Sure, they're there. Sure, a lot of people are using them. And if you're stuck, it's a way you can get past where you need to get to. But that's not who we are. That's not where we're trying to go. with AthleticSOS, what we're trying to do is we're going to create you guys, turn you into entrepreneurs, turn you into a brand, turn you into someone that for the future for you guys, and I talk about this all the time, you guys are going to have to try to figure out a way to get where you need to get to without the benefits that we had before, without the rules being set in stone, right? There is no more graduate from high school, keep your grades up, go to college, keep your grades up, come out, get a great job, stay there 30 years, get your retirement, get a pension. That world for you guys is not there. You could probably find it, but it's not the way to go. You guys can do anything. You can be as big as you want to be, as great as you want to be. You can choose how you want to live your life. And I want you to get into that mode, but because you're going to have to make the choices, and I want you to be prepared. I want you to know all of your options and everything that you can do to better your lives as you move forward. It's what your parents want for you. It's what your teachers, the administrators at school, everybody wants you to have a great life. They just don't know how to get you there. So they try to prepare you by the rules that are set, but the rules just change. All right. So don't go looking for shortcuts. Don't go looking for loopholes for everything you're going to do, because you will run into a problem somewhere down the line. And we don't want that. So if you're going to use AthleticSOS, you're more than welcome to it. I'll give you the code that you need to use it. But I don't want you to get into that habit of becoming the person who's always trying to find a way around some slick way of doing things. I want you to do things the best way, be aware. And so that's what we're going to do. So if you want to be that person, don't use AthleticSOS. There's a bunch of ways for you to get around. But if you want to be the person that's aware and know what's going on, you're absolutely going to use this. So here, I'm going to give you guys the code. I'm going to tell you guys how to use the code, and you can use AthleticSOS for free. Okay? All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Best of luck to you as always, and stay in the game. Bye.